As you know, I openly blog frequently about what went on with the rollout, the mistakes, not to mention the vaccine injured and the lack of compensation and all the other issues surrounding that topic. But I quite often see on the thread that people are demanding that the Reform Party and their MPs do something about it. Now, I see that as a big mistake. And the reason I see it as a big mistake is, like it or not, what happened with the rollout is a niche problem. It's not a nationwide problem. It's a niche problem. It's a dire, despicable, abhorrent thing that's happened, but nevertheless, it's not affecting everyone. Unfortunately, for Reform to do well and get into government, they need to attract a big audience, so they need a big net. There are literally millions of people who would now vote for Reform, but these people, some of them, are also very happy to have joined in the rollout and haven't got any problems with it and don't see it. And lots of those people don't see it and don't realise it because they're not on social media doing what I do, or listening to people who do this, or following what's going on. They don't know about it. They're completely oblivious to it. And I see it because of people that we associate with, that before this, we always knew that they were happy to be, joining the rollout and roll the sleeve up. There's no problems with that. But they also didn't talk about politics. But now they're talking about politics. Reform have to attract middle ground. They have to attract a big catchment of people. And please, I've been doing this a long time, since 2015. You don't need to come on the thread and tell me I need to wake up and I don't understand that, Reform are part of the problem. No, they're not. I refuse to accept that. And this is why I refuse to accept it. Because for a very long time, probably 15 or 20 years, Nigel Farage has been treated like Tommy Robinson in a suit. He's been on the fringe of society. He's been in Europe as an MEP, where he had to pay for extra security for himself, where he had rotten vegetables and eggs thrown at him, where he was banned from restaurants, where he wasn't taken seriously by any of the parties that didn't even let him on the Brexit bus. He had to get his own bus. He's been treated abysmally. The only difference between him and Tommy Robinson is he's never been put in jail for anything. And he's tread a very fine line. And now it's coming to fruition. It's took him decades to get where he is. So, no, I don't see him as part of the establishment, and I certainly don't see him as, it's the uni party and he's all part of it. I'm not expecting miracles. Beyond that, I'm not expecting anything any different than Reform, other than back out of my life, back out with your legislation, do sensible things, bring energy prices down, stop the green levies, take net zero out of law. There's so many things that can be done by Reform. Stopping the boats, sorting immigration out, deporting wrongdoers, emptying the jails of foreign criminals. There's so many other issues that appeal to a broader perspective of voter. That's what they've got to do. Hanging around about what's going on with the rollout is not... you can't go to polls on that. The time to address that is when these comedians fire up again. When these comedians like Keir Starmer and Tony Blair and The Who start coming out with more bollocks about, there's another pandemic, you'll all have to line up again. The time to come out about that is then, because that's your ammunition. That's your ammo from the last debacle. You roll all that out, how much was spent on PPE, whether or not they were lied to about the effectiveness of the actual drug. It didn't stop transmission. You said it did. We're not prepared to go down this road again. That's when you fight that, sadly. To go crusading about it now, half the country's moved on. They don't care. And you have to accept that. You have to accept that that's how the country thinks. If you're going to win and change things. And the only thing I want from Reform is less bloody government. I'm not really interested in how the party's set up at all. That's not one of my problems. My problem is how much my eating costs. Why am I paying so much in bloody poll tax, or whatever you want to call it now, council tax? Why is that so expensive? Why are you not creating better services at home? Why are you sending all my taxis overseas? What are you doing about the little boats? Why is immigration sky high? Why can you turn around and tell civil servants they can work from home, and yet you have to import people to come and live in the bloody country to make the economy work? What are you doing? That's what I want. I want someone to challenge all that. And that's all I expect from reform. I am not expecting miracles. I have never once in my life called any politician a bloody hero. The politicians, some just do the job better than others. Unfortunately for us, we've got a growing phenomenon. We've got 5 people who are popular, but they have no power base. No power base to attack the things you're suggesting they should attack right now. If you're going to be puritanical about this, expect to lose. Expect to be howling at the moon from Facebook, from social media in the next 5 years, because you will. What we need to do is get rid of the stranglehold of the 2 main parties and the dip switches in the Lib Dems. We've already sorted it out, really, with the Scottish MPs. They're toast now. So this is what we need moving forward. We need someone who's got the common sense to play a poker face, get into power and then address these issues. Now is not the time.